It is day 7 of the Trust Your Gut Challenge, and today I let my intuition guide me with making breakfast today. Delicious. What should I have for breakfast? I could either have eggs and toast or some protein pancakes. Those sound good. All right, back to the sway method. Here we go. You always want to recalibrate every time you ask a question, so I'm gonna do that now. Show me yes. Okay, me and now. Is it in my highest self's best interest to have protein pancakes for breakfast? Okay. Is it in my highest self's best interest to have eggs and toast? Sometimes you might get a yes from both, as in like it would be okay to have either one. But then you get to decide which you prefer, taste-wise. So now I'm going to figure out which one would support my health most. Is it in my health's best interest to have the protein pancakes for breakfast? No. Is it in my health's best interest to have the eggs and toast? Yes. I've had to learn that you gotta ask the right questions when you want answers. So instead of saying, should I have this or should I have that? Your unconscious mind wants to fulfill your desires, so it's gonna say yes if you want it. But if you say, is it in my highest self's best interest to have this or that, then that answer might be different. It also depends on what your desired outcome is. So for me, I want to pick a breakfast that supports my health in general, but also since I'm sick. I asked that question, it said the eggs and toast would be more health supportive. So both sound good to me flavor-wise, so I'm gonna go with the eggs and toast. This bread is from a local Italian restaurant, and then farm fresh eggs from the local market. You can see there's some blue ones and orange brown eggs. So pretty, higher quality. This bread is a little hard. It's kind of old. It is an olive flavored bread. It's gonna go in the toaster oven. I'm gonna do a little bit of olive oil. Oops. There's a bit of olive oil. This big guy and the little baby. Look at the difference in the eggs. That's how you know they're farm fresh. And they've got little hairs on them still from the chickens. It's so important to get organic, pasture-raised eggs because the quality of the food is so much higher. Now, I did not wait for that pan to heat up. Salt. I like soft scrambled eggs. This is not the best pan to do this in because this one specifically sticks. There's so many different ways to make eggs. You gotta go low and slow. And then they come out really creamy. And you want to turn off the heat right before they get cooked because they're gonna continue to cook a little bit more in the heat. That's it. Pro tip, I like to add a little bit of turmeric to my eggs for anti-inflammatory benefit. And you want to add some black pepper to activate the curcumin. Ideally, you'd like to add it while they're still wet. Pieces of toast. They're so cute. Do I want butter or avocado? Is it in my my health's best interest to put butter on the toast? Oh, is it in my health's best interest to put avocado on the toast? No. Alright, butter it goes. I could use this knife to spread the butter, but the toast's already hot, so you can just do it this way. It's quite easier. Now, this is not something to do if somebody has food allergies that you're living with, because then you could contaminate the butter. Alright, now half egg on top there. It's probably gonna fall off. And you can see it's stuck to the pan. If anybody has any tips on how to prevent this from happening, please share. Here's the eggs and toast. Super easy. You got your carbs, your fat, and your protein. Now the last thing I'm gonna add is some sprouts. These are also local from the farmer's market. Take some of these sprouts on top. But that way we add some fiber and nutrients. Just to have some more fun, I'm gonna add some blueberries on the side. Look at those colors. We've got some blue, yellow, green, brown. Let's go eat. Before I eat, I like to pray over my food and connect with the energy and send loving, healing energy to the food to connect my body and spirit with the food before I consume it. So I take some deep breaths myself just to calm my body down, to be more open to receive the food, to activate digestion. Give gratitude. Thank you for everybody involved in the process of getting these ingredients together for me to consume. And I bless this food to nourish my body. Just like bursts of flavor. I like to eat my fruit first before anything else. It's better for your digestion that way, from an Ayurvedic perspective. And ideally you'd want to wait a little bit before eating anything else. But now let's see if I can eat this toast without making too much of a mess. Okay, here we go. So crunchy. That's good. I think I need a napkin. Something like this is super easy to make. It does not take much time at all. And with simple, whole food ingredients, it can never go wrong for breakfast or any meal of your day. Now, I know day 2 was the day that I tried the bagel with the cream cheese to see how my body responded. Right now, I am eating gluten and eggs. I started reintroducing eggs a couple days ago, and other than being sick, I felt okay. I am trusting that if my body is craving the eggs again, that it's asking me to reintroduce them into my diet. I've eaten the bread the last couple of days as well, and I think it's been fine. My gut hasn't felt bloated. My skin's been acting really strange. I think it's mainly because my immune system is activated. Little recap from the last couple of days. From day 5 of the Trust Your Gut Challenge, when I talked about having hard conversations, somebody asked about how do you ask that person that you're having a hard conversation with for support to be able to have that hard conversation with them. You can simply ask the person that you're about to have the hard conversation with and pre-frame the conversation by saying, hey, I'd like to share something that's been on my heart lately. And before I do that, is now an okay time? And would you be okay with holding space for me in my vulnerability? Now, asking that alone can feel difficult if you've never done that before, but it also can be really nice to break the ice before getting into the hard conversation, because now you're pre-framing that other person of what to expect. That person that you're having the hard conversation with may or may not be receptive to this. If having a conversation from an honest place in this intentional way is new for them, hey, you just taught them something. So kudos to you. A tool that's been really helpful that I just learned from Tony Robbins was called the sewing method when it comes to having hard conversations with people. S stands for sensations. So tapping into your body and expressing to this person what sensations you're feeling in a moment. That takes the pressure off of them, and it's something that cannot be argued. So think about the difference between saying to somebody, hey, you made me feel upset the other day when you said XYZ. That puts the person in a defensive mode. If you say, hey, when that happened the other day, I started to feel angry. I started to feel upset, and I noticed this tightness in my chest. I noticed this rumbling in my stomach. No one can argue with your experience. If you start to acknowledge what your experience is when you're talking to the other person, you're no longer coming from a place of defensiveness, you're coming from a place of vulnerability and openness. So that person is going to receive what you say much better. E is emotion. So name the emotions that you're experiencing. Hey, I'm feeling really sad right now because blah, blah, blah. Or I'm feeling really angry because of that. And then W is what do you want? If you're having that hard conversation and you first name, I'm feeling these things, I have this emotion right now, I actually want you to listen to me next time this happens. Or I want you to hear me out because I don't feel like you're recognizing or acknowledging what I'm doing or whatever it is. Then you can ask the other person all these questions like, what sensations are you feeling? What emotions are you feeling? And what do you want from this? And this is opening up the conversation to be so much more heartfelt rather than, well, you did this and you did that and it made me feel this way. And yes, emotions can be present, but not from an accusatory way, but of, this is my experience, I'm owning that, and I'm coming to you vulnerably because I feel this dissonance between us that I don't really want that. So how can we come together to resolve this conflict so we can be closer and share more love and peace? Hopefully that helps. And yeah, you can also do that with yourself in a moment that you're experiencing emotions come up in the moment. You gotta name it. You gotta notice and bring awareness to, how is this making me feel right now? Talk about career, for example. If you're in a job that you feel drained in, acknowledge it and say, I feel this weight on my shoulders. I feel like I'm carrying everything. I feel like I'm not being acknowledged. I don't feel like I'm being valued for my work. And I don't know what to do about that, but it feels off. Like something in me feels off. And so acknowledge that. The sensations are part of the signaling system when we're trying to connect back with ourselves, is to pay attention in these different life situations and tap in and ask, what am I actually noticing right now? What am I feeling in my body? What emotions are coming up? And name it in the moment rather than suppress it and ignore it. And know that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the experience that you're having. And then if you want to go deeper, asking yourself, is this an appropriate reaction? Is this an appropriate response to what's happening in my life, in this experience I'm having? Because oftentimes we can also experience negative emotions in a inappropriate or unwarranted way. That's because we're being triggered by something from a place of baggage. Our baggage is being triggered by that situation. If you no longer want to have inappropriate responses to situations, that's where MER comes into play. It's where mental emotional release and releasing those negative emotions around the root cause of the event, like I talked in video 5, day 5 with the hard conversations. You got to do the release work and bring you back to your homeostasis, your equilibrium, your home base, and then move from that place. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Then tap in. Ask yourself what sensations you're experiencing in the moment and why. Where is it coming from? explore that deeper, and you'll find a lot of answers that you otherwise might not have. I'm having a hard time showing up the last few days since I've been sick because I feel like I don't look my best. Like, I look sick. I know that I'm struggling in these ways, and I don't want to come across as this girl who's talking about health and living a great life when, like, I'm struggling and I'm sick. Because I feel like that could discount what I'm saying, even though it doesn't. Like, that's the story that I'm telling myself. And at the same time, this is me being authentic and vulnerable, which is exactly the message I want to get across. Rash and droopy eyes and easily voiced right now and all. I'm showing up. I encourage you to as well. I'm calling you out. How can you love yourself better today? Exactly as you are. I noticed that I say that I'm sick each day. Yes, I am sick, and I'm owning that, claiming that. It made me pay attention, though, to the ways that I and you and everybody talks about the story of suffering. Why do we start with that? Why do we start off by saying, yeah, I'm sick and it's been a hard day, but I'm showing up anyway, and so here's what I'm doing, and blah, 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 blah. Like, does that justify what I'm gonna say next? I feel like what it does, for me personally, it calls out the thing I'm afraid of in the moment. So that way it diminishes the fearful experience for me. Because if I didn't say, oh yeah, here I am feeling sick, and I show up, you'll probably watch this video and be like, is she okay? Like, what's going on with her? To me, receiving that, I'd feel judgment. And to protect myself from said judgment, I call out the elephant in the room. So that way, if somebody does think those negative things about me, then there's a justifiable reason of, oh, she's just sick. That's why she looks a little tired, or that's why her skin's the way that it is, or that's why her energy just seems low. There's an excuse for that. It's kind of ironic because I'm calling it out right now in the same fashion. But I also just want to keep myself accountable here and share and call out the pattern that's happening. And oh boy. Yeah. Coughing attack. Call it out in case you might notice it for yourself and see the ways in which you're doing that and justifying how you show up with the story that you have of suffering. It's a deep one. There's also this thought energy of, oh, like, I'm really not like this all the time. Like, I'm actually, like, a lot more cheerful and put together and good. Usually, I'm just, like, having an off day, you know? Because most people that watch these videos don't know me. They probably haven't seen all the other videos that I've posted, so this is their first impression of me. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to have a bad impression of me, right? It's my ego talking. My ego's like, no, like, they gotta like me right away, and that means that I gotta show up and look presentable and pretty and, you know, have it all together. And that is a pattern that I am breaking, and I've been in the process of breaking, and I think even having this conversation, I'm breaking it. It just reminds me of all the ways that I've tried to control the outcome, or like want to, I guess, control how other people see me, because then that means that my story will continue to be true. You can't control that, and actually it's a lot healthier and more peaceful when you don't care about what other people think. And as I continue to step more and more into the spotlight, if I think that I can control what people think of me at the level I'm at in visibility, oh, that is going to be one rude awakening when this hits thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, a million plus people seeing me in these raw moments. Okay, so I've noticed in myself and in other people this trend, and this is just a human thing. It's just what we do as humans. We think that the beliefs we have about ourselves is what everybody else believes about us too. If you think you're fat, if you think you're ugly, if you think you're dumb, those limited beliefs, right? If you think that, often chance you probably think other people think that about you too. But that's not true. And so often I've noticed myself, and I've seen other people do this, of like trying to prove that belief wrong, or hide that belief, or hide those parts about ourselves that we don't like or we don't love, to prevent that other person from like finding us out. For example, if you think that you're fat, you're like, oh man, I'm so fat, I'm gaining all this weight, and people aren't gonna love me, people aren't gonna like me if I'm fat. You're gonna be so self-conscious about what other people are thinking about you. Like, oh my god, they're thinking I'm fat, like that's why they're looking at me. That is all in your head. It's all in your head. And so I just invite you to consider the possibility that those negative thoughts that you have about yourself are not what other people are thinking about you. They might be thinking worse things about you. The cool thing is that if you don't believe that about yourself, those thoughts, those words can't hurt you. And the more that you're in tune with who you are and have that strong self-esteem and sense of self, the less that those negative thoughts and those negative words that people think about and say to you, the less those affect you. Which is kind of cool, because then you also start to realize that, oh, what that person does doesn't or shouldn't affect me. All that really matters is what I believe to be true about myself. So I better start working on that and pay less attention to what all those people out there are saying and thinking about me. Because at the end of the day, all you got is you. You have to live with yourself. You live with your thoughts. You live with your brain. You live with your body. It is your home. Why not treat it well? Why not show it love? Why not love yourself? I could give you 100 reasons why that is the best thing you can do in this life. So think about that. Okay, I think that's good for day 7. Wow, it has been a week already of doing this Trust Your Gut challenge. If you've had any revelations, if you've been following along, if you've been trusting your own gut, let me know in the comments. What are some ways that you're tapping into your intuition and your gut? Subscribe to this channel so you can continue along with the journey. We still got 3 more weeks to go of this. I'm really feeling good about this challenge. I might not be physically feeling good right now, and that was a wrench thrown into this experiment. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it was exactly what needed to happen for me to also slow down and tap in to my own intuition. All right, I will see you tomorrow.